Okay, Glenn here with Falcon Quest, and I am showing a wonderful design for the ferret. Percival is the ferret that I take for programs, for education programs, and I thought people would be interested in this real maintenance-free type of a setup I have here. If you happen to have a pet ferret or want to have a pet ferret, I'm just letting you know that you can make something similar to this and have all of your mess on the ground, and the smell is outside. There's Percival. Hi there, little buddy. How you doing? Yeah, I woke you up, didn't I? Yeah, he's checking things out, isn't he? Sure is. But anyway, I just wanted to show this design because it's a really easy way to keep a ferret outside of the home where it gets fresh air, gets exercise, and so easy to take care of. Now, of course, if you're going to have a ferret like this outside, you have to make sure that you go outside every day to handle the little booger to keep him tame. This is Percival. Hey, buddy. And he's got a top rail back here that he can walk on, and he's got some areas that he can climb down. But the bottom is wire, so all his feces, urine, and everything just goes right to the ground. There's his feeding cup there, and behind here we got a little surprise. I'll try to get it out. And this is his little box that he goes into when it's cold outside, and he can just go in there. And I put some wood shavings in there. He's as snug as a bug, and the rug back in there. And that's kind of hidden back behind that, because when the sun's out and the sun's coming down, a lot of this pen is shaded, but stay in there, buddy. A lot of the sun is, a lot of the inside of this pen is shaded, but just to make sure that his sleeping quarters during the day stays out of the sun. And so he's about 2 feet above the ground. Another thing you don't have to worry about is you don't have to worry about those pesky fleas, because fleas, animals that have contact with the ground, there's always the potential for fleas, and Percival and I do not like fleas. There we go, got his little hammock hanging up there. He likes his hammock. I have just a plastic top on this thing here, keep the rain off. And it's just a real easy design that I wanted to share with my viewers and let you know that you can very easily keep a ferret. Not everybody is into ferrets, but they are very interesting animals. And again, some people will say, well, Glenn, why do you talk about, you're Falcon Quest, you're birds of prey. Why do you talk about ferrets? Why do you even have a ferret? It's because of the sister sport to falconry. These wonderful animals have been used to hunt for mankind, for rabbits, for many centuries. Most people just don't know about it. Yeah. Yeah. Alrighty. What I have today is to talk about something that's quite important about the ferret. A lot of people don't realize exactly what the background of ferrets are. In Europe, the ferret is actually a finely tuned hunting machine. Most of the people in the United States and such see ferrets as pets. And some of them can make great pets. But the fact of the matter is, the ferret is not too far distant from a very wild predator that is able to hunt rabbits. And so I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the sister sport to falconry. Of course, many of you know that falconry is the sport of taking a wild bird of prey and you train it to hunt with mankind, and that's what falconry is. But there's a sister sport referred to as ferreting. And a lot of people don't realize that back in the day, 14th, 15th century perhaps, back in the time of Europe of kings and kingdoms, that ferreting was used sometimes to poach from the king's land. And with the common person being heavily taxed and they're trying to put food on the table, is they would have themselves a trained ferret, because ferrets naturally in the wild hunt rabbits. So what they would do is they'd go to a warren. And what a warren is a hill with many holes where the rabbits live. And what the ferreter would do is he would place nets over each hole, and the net would be weighted down, and he'd go around and cover each hole of this warren with these nets. And then what the ferreter would do is he would maybe have a box, something like this here, and he'd walk into the field in maybe at dark time or right around dark time, so he wouldn't get caught. And then he would take the box and he would open it up, and come on, Percival. And as soon as the ferret realizes he can get out, come on, buddy, come on. he's kind of wanting to play in here. It's not time to play. Here he comes. And then they would take the ferret out, and they would go ahead and they would take this long predator that loves to eat rabbits, and they would enter the ferret into one of the holes. As soon as that ferret would go into that warren and start hunting, those rabbits would bolt out of that warren. And guess what happens? That's right, the rabbits would hit those nets, get tangled in the nets, and then the ferreter could go around and pick up the rabbits from the nets, put them in his game bag, and he would bring home food for his family. Of course, that would come with a high price, because if he got caught doing that, he might end up finding himself in the dungeon. And these are true stories, and that's one of the way that people would actually hunt with ferrets. They're tenacious little hunters. They're from the mustelid family, same family as the badgers and the weasels and the mink and animals such as that. Another thing, or another way that a ferreter would go to the field and poach off of the land of the royalty is they would have specially designed pockets in their trousers or in their loose-fitting clothes, and they would actually hide that ferret, because they could not get caught doing this, of course, because they were poaching. Another thing they would do is they'd have specially designed pouches like this here, and they would slip the ferret into the pouch, and they would shut the pouch down, and you would never know that there's a ferret in here, and the nets that they use for ferreting would be hidden, and they would go to the field. Now, there are some that have actually mixed falconry with ferreting, and what they would do is they would enter the ferret into the warren, so the ferret could go into the warren and make those rabbits bolt, but there wouldn't be any nets. What there would be is there would be a hawk up in the tree or sitting on the fence, that type of a thing. And then as soon as those rabbits would bolt out of that warren, the hawk would go down and chase and catch the rabbits. So one can actually mix ferreting and falconry together. What wonderful, splendid animals.